Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of MetraAV Tech Tips Solutions. So today we're going to be talking about our volume controls. Of course, last Wednesday we talked about impedance, or pardon me, we corrected our conversation on impedance, while we had Joe Padula here from Installer Institute to basically fix what I did wrong the week before. So with our new knowledge, we're going to talk today about our VS100 and our VC700 volume controls. You might hear outside, it's raining and storming right now, so you may hear some thunder and some lightning going on. So if I go off air, that's why. But we're here right now, and we're going to keep going and make sure we're good to go. As always, if you have any questions about whatever it is I'm talking about, feel free to leave it down in the comment section below. Or if you're here live, you can leave it over in the chat section on that side over there. So, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump right into these volume controls and tell you more about them. So, we'll go over here and hit this button. All right, so we have our VS100 over here. This is a slider style volume control. And then we have our VC700 over here. That's more of a rotary style. So, we're going to start with the VC700. So, we'll move this out of the way. So the VC700 has a power handling of 63 watts per channel. We've got our amplifier inside over here and our speaker outside over here. On the back of it, this is where we can select the different amount of speakers that are on there. So if you saw last week's episode with Joe, you'll know that these here are impedance selectors. And what this does, we'll bring it up here closer to the camera so you can see what that looks like there. What those will do is we're able to select and say, okay, I have an 8 ohm speaker, so we're going to put that on ×1. What that's going to mean is 8 times 1 is still 8. So if we have an amplifier that's safe at 8 ohm, we're going to put it there and we'll be good to go. Now let's say, for instance, we have 2 8 ohm speakers wired in parallel. That brings it down to 4 ohm. But let's say our amplifier can't do that. Well, we can come here and we can actually switch that over here to the ×2. And that's 4 times 2 is going to bring it back up to 8 ohm. This is really handy if you have many speakers out there. And let's say, for instance, you wire all your speakers up and you bring it all the way down to something like a 2 ohm load and you need to bring it back up to what it was. Well, if you have 2 ohm, then you can go ahead and switch this over to the X4. And the X4 is going to bring it back up to an 8 ohm load for that amplifier. So you can keep things nice and safe for that. On this here also, we can handle up to a 12 gauge input on these Phoenix connectors for each side. And these Phoenix connectors make it super easy because they do pop out. So you can go ahead and wire in everything that's necessary for it. And then instead of having to use the tools right here on that, you can just plug these right back into that and you're good to go. We have that both on the amplifier side, the amplifier side and the speaker side as well. So feel free to, take advantage of that and wire everything in with just this here in your hand instead of having to hold everything all at once. This does come in white, ivory, and bone. So here on the front cover plate of it here, this is a Decora style plate with that. The colors that can be changed out are also include the volume control knob itself and the Decora plate. So all you have to do is just pop that off and replace it with whatever color you want on that. Let's see. So like I said, that can handle up to 12 gauge on those Phoenix connectors. So with that, we'll go ahead and jump over to our VS100. So like I said before, the VS100 is a slider style volume control. So where you have the rotary style with the VC700, the VS100 has this slider style. Now, for the most part, it's pretty straightforward and very similar to the VC700. You've got your Phoenix connector plugs here. However, these can handle a 14 gauge instead of a 12 gauge connection on those. On the back of it here, you'll also notice the other difference on that. So our impedance matching, or our impedance selection, is different. We actually have a left channel and a right channel impedance selector. So if you have a different number of speakers for some reason on one channel or the other, you can actually come in here and change it out independently. Now, for the most part, you're going to put it at each one the same, because most times you have matching pairs of speakers. So make sure you have that as well. But if for some reason you do have something weird going on where you need to go ahead and have one side set to a ×8 and you need to have the other side set to a ×4, you can do that as well. All right. So again, with this one here, this can handle up to a 14 gauge instead of a 12 gauge on this. And this also comes with the same white, ivory, and bone colors for the Decora style faceplate on this as well. And then there's the replaceable Phoenix connector with that as well. So For the most part, that's basically it. They're pretty straightforward volume controls, both the VC700 and the VS100. The VC, of course, is the volume control rotary. The VS is the volume control slider here as well. So you can definitely check those out with that. As always, if you have other questions about what these pieces are capable of doing, the spaces, let's see, Mammoth George, what's the spacing on the Phoenix connectors? Mammoth, George, if you'll give me some more information about that, what are you asking about exactly? Are you asking for the spacing in between? Or are you asking about the actual Phoenix connector, what type of Phoenix connector it is? With that, I'm not entirely sure. I can find out for you though on that to see what's the sizing on this. Feel free to call us. Actually, in fact, you can see here on the screen, 386-492-8584. Best way is to go ahead and give us a call. I can actually get measurements on this. If you're looking for a specific type of what type of Phoenix connector this is, I can find out for you. It may take a little bit longer. I'll have to reach out to the engineers and find out exactly which one that they used with that. But if it's something where you're just looking for the size of this, I can go ahead and find that out for you. Give me a call, 386-492-8584 is our tech support line. Or you can email me. It's adam.rogers@MetraAV.com. That's the best way to get in touch with me directly, or if you call into the tech support line, they can get you over to me, or Stuart, or even Brent or Lewis are also here and available for tech support as well. You pre-wire to Phoenix for spacing. Okay, understood. Yeah, give me a call or shoot me an email and we'll go ahead and find out that for you as well. So with that said, that's basically it, everyone. These are just pretty straightforward Phoenix connector these are pretty straightforward volume controls. Like I said before, you've got the rotary style volume control, and then of course you have the slider style volume control with that, the VS100 and VC700. So reach out to your sales rep or distributor for availability and pricing, and they'll be more than happy to help you out with that. As always, I'm Adam with MetraAV TechTips Solutions. If you have any questions, like I said before, give us a call down here, 386-492-8584, or you can email me directly at adam.rogers, that's R-O-G, @metraav.com. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.